Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again, and today we're going to talk about progress. Progress? Not the game, but progress? I'm sitting here in the gym making all kinds of gains. You're talking to me about progress, not the game? That's right, we're going to talk about progress today. I think it's important to talk about only because it's something that really affects all of us. I mean, let's be honest. Besides maybe for some of us aesthetics, which of course not me or Max Tuning, we're really chasing after, it's always progress in the gym. We're always trying to get all kinds of gains. And as part of that, when we don't see all kinds of gains, it can be very frustrating. So much so, in fact, that the mental aspect can be so negative on us that not only does it ruin several workouts for us going forward, but it can really kind of creep into our own personal lives as well with relationships or work or whatever it may be. So I want to just take this time today to talk a little bit about progress and how I like to deal with it and how I suggest you do. However, if you have a better tactic that you deal with lack of progression with, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, as it could very well help somebody. So for me personally, to give you some kind of background, the first thing that I like to do for this is take a step back and take a look at the bigger picture. And for me, starting to lift at the age of 15, I really only had a bench press max of 110 pounds. I'd be more than happy to share with you my squat or deadlift max. The only issue is that I didn't do them back then. But I've gained about 50 pounds of mass since then, being the same height. And I could say I've seen all kinds of gains, which again, most of us are after. However, at this point in the game, when I'm 33 years old now, surprise, surprise, it's really tough to leverage that 15-year-old self as motivation anymore, because that was such a long time ago. And if I really focus on these last few weeks of BBSM that I personally have been going through, where I haven't been seeing necessarily the progression that I want, it can be very frustrating, again, in the fact that it ruins some of my workouts, and some of you might argue it's ruined some of my commentaries. I haven't had as many penis jokes lately. But also just in other aspects of my life, whether it be, again, as I mentioned, relationships or work. So one of the things I like to do is try to reference stuff from a bigger picture, but still be somewhat relevant. So what I have done is take a look back at when I competed in the 2013 IPA Connecticut State Powerlifting Championships. At that time, when I competed in September of 2013, I had set new PRs in squat, bench, and deadlift. So for squat, it was 510. For bench, it was 305, which was paused of going because it was in competition, and deadlift of 550. And I was happy with that. These last couple of weeks of training, I haven't been very happy. I felt very, very weak, and I feel like I've really regressed. But then what I did is I pulled up some of my older YouTube videos from the last time I tested my 1-rep maxes, which was back in April. So about 6 months between the 2013 video that I'll show you clips from and the April videos, which I'll also show you clips from. In that 6 months, I saw my squat go from 510 pounds to 555, so an increase of 45 pounds. I saw my bench go from 305 to 340, so an increase of 35 pounds, and deadlift went from 550 to 630, so 80 pounds. So at the end of the day, we're looking at about a 160 pound increase in my total, which is very significant, again, given the fact that I've been training so long. So again, if I were to take a look at the smaller aspect of what's been going on these last couple of weeks and put it into a graph, it would probably look something similar to what you see on the screen right now, very downward trending, and that would really get me down. My feelings tend to go in line with my gains. However, that's really a bad representation of how things have been going for me as a whole. So what I've done is I took a step back and took a look at the last 6 months, and the graph should look more like this. So again, the real thing I'm trying to convey to you guys here is don't necessarily get too down about a couple of bad workouts, even if it's a couple of weeks, because in the grand scheme of things, as long as that graph is still trending upwards, that's all that you really want, and that's what it's all about. And again, we can kind of figure things out and tweak and change things, whether it be diet, like in my case. Probably isn't a good idea to be on a strength training program and a caloric deficit, or frequency or volume, or whatever it may be that's going on with you. The important thing, again, is that we are overall seeing gains. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know how you deal with this kind of thing. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, and stay big.